Please welcome Ned Scott. Ned Scott, which is the CEO of Steemit. We heard him talk a lot today. Welcome. Please have a seat. Next we have Joar Langeland, partner at FCG Norway. Welcome. Please have a seat. Next we have Stefan Nilsson, from chairman of the Norway Bitcoin Association, which just started up. Welcome. Thank you. Next we have Morten Mørk, which is what do you call it in English? Advokatfullmektig?
Associate attorney at law, I guess.
Associate attorney at Mørk, advokatfirma Mørk. Welcome. We have Susanne Hannestad, CEO at Fintech Mundi. Welcome. And we have Martin Hauge. Yes. Hello. Welcome. Martin is managing partner at Fluent Digital Capital. And finally, we have blockchain expert Lasse Meholm from the blockchain team. Welcome. Blockchain team He's a member of the blockchain and IT strategy team at Nordea. The silence. Okay, so to start off, I will ask each and every one of you. We'll do it in turn, starting with Ned here. Please say something about your background and tell us about your experience with blockchain and cryptocurrencies. 1 minute each.
I think this story might be getting a little old.
Yeah. You can talk about whatever you want for 1 minute.
For anyone who's new in the audience, I'm Ned Scott, CEO of Steemit, a blockchain-based social media network. And it incorporates all the best from social media and all the best in cryptocurrency to become a sort of censorship-resistant blend of personal finance and freedom of expression.
Great.
Okay, Joar Langeland, partner and CEO of FCD, Financial Compliance Group, Nordic consultancy firm specializing in risk and regulatory compliance, and also focusing only on the financial industry as a domain. 30 plus years from the financial industry, working across Europe and globally, and have a very strong belief in the blockchain technology, maybe less believe in the cryptocurrency, but I think that there's a huge potential for technologically developments in the area and the space that blockchain intend to operate. But also have seen so many scandals from inside the financial industry as well as from the outside. But I think that easily can transfer to any new technological development and participants in that space. So I think some sort of regulation is definitely required and necessary. So I guess that's the space we would like to be in now.
Great.
All right.
Stefan?
My name is Stefan Nilsson. I'm the leader of the Norway Bitcoin Foundation that we just started. I'm also working professionally as an IT consultant and integrating ERP systems with the blockchain. I've been working with or been interested in Bitcoin since about 2012. So in this space, that's rather long. I have some other views than you have from the financial side about the regulations and so on. So I think we're going to have a very nice, nice discussion today.
Yeah.
So I think I hold it.
Great. Morten?
Yeah, I'm Morten Mørk. I'm an associate attorney at law at a family firm, Advokatfirma Mørk. I've been a crypto enthusiast for 2 or 3 years, and I wrote my master thesis about Bitcoin or digital cryptocurrencies and sales tax or value-added tax. And I joined the Bitcoin Foundation yesterday, and they asked me to.
Sorry, I forgot to say everyone has to speak up. We have no microphones for the audience, and some people are really far behind. Please proceed.
So I joined the foundation yesterday, and they asked me to come and be the legal expert. So I brought my old thesis and some articles, and I'm ready to answer some questions.
Yes, Susanne, please.
Yeah, Susanne Hannestad, CEO of Fintech Mundi. We are helping fintech companies scaling, commercialization, and going for the global market. So we are close to potential customers, meaning bank and finance companies throughout the world. We are close to investors. We are close to, of course, our own partners. And Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay of China. I believe in blockchain. I've seen quite a lot happening during, I would say, the last months. We see Bank of Ireland, we see Barclays that are moving, and hopefully we will see some clear progress on that side. So that's my background. I've also been in Nordea for 10 years, building up the card industry there, issuing, acquiring debit, credit cards, and of course the terminal side. So standards there are with MasterCard and Visa and so forth. Might be some thoughts around the regulation and the standards when it comes to blockchain as well.
Great. Please, Martin.
Thank you. I'm Martin Hauge. I used to be an entrepreneur, started multiple companies in the Nordic countries. I joined a small group of people that started a venture capital firm in 2004 and built Creandum. Creandum is today one of the leading venture capital investors in the Nordics, investing in multiple companies, also fintech companies. And through Creandum, we did also investment in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin to be more precise, and other fintech companies. And today, yes, I'm still partly involved in venture capital, but I'm also an angel investor with strong interest in this space, both the blockchain technology or companies building on blockchain technology, and also in cryptocurrency. I'm a strong believer that we will see a digital currency or multiple digital currencies coming up in the coming years, and I'm sure that the timing now is right for those who want to join the wagon and enjoy these tremendous good investment cases.
Thank you. Lasse.
Yeah, thank you. I have also started a few fintech companies, and I have sold them one by one. I work in Nordea, the bank, today in IT, the group IT department. I have been in the Nordea blockchain teams since October last year, almost a year. And Nordea joined the R3 DLG group in October last year. R3 is a consortium of banks working with blockchain. It started in New York in 2014. A small fintech company managed to get Barclays, Goldman Sachs, and so on, quite a few large banks interested in blockchain, finding out, is blockchain a hype or is this something we should focus on? And the group grown, and last year when Nordea joined, we was 25 banks. Today there are 53 banks or something like that. We have meeting with Goldman Sachs, Citibank, Barclays, Santander, Deutsche Bank twice a week. So we are quite focused on blockchain and finding out what we can use blockchain for. And we have also developed the Corda blockchain protocol. So blockchain is quite important for us as a bank. We are attacked from all over, payment and insurance and all over. So blockchain is just one technology we are focused on. That's very important.
Thank you. So that concludes the introduction phase. I'm going to send one more question through the line, and that is, what do you see as the main benefits of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology? Starting with Ned. 1 minute.
I see the main benefit globally in blockchain being that ultimately these technologies will be job creators. These tokenization systems have the ability to incentivize certain behaviors, and some of those behaviors are very much net value producers for society and for communities. Whether that be posting content or making predictions about future events. People can contribute to these systems with their information, and they can receive value in return. And I think in the long run, we'll see tens of thousands, hundreds, maybe even millions of jobs created through these technologies.
Yeah, no, blockchain technology, I'm strongly believing will be a dominant enabler, both globally and even in the more, or especially in the emerging markets, where currently a lot of those market and commodities is sometimes unbankable. I think this new technology will make new markets and new geographical areas bankable, and at the same time, I think in the more mature industry part of the industry, it will enable enormous cost efficiency and meet the end user's demand. As we heard, instant payments is basically a prerequisite in many areas today, and the end user's demand will definitely drive the more mature part of the industry as well.
Thank you. Stefan?
Yeah, I agree so far that the blockchain technology and the cryptocurrency is very important because it's a decentralized, global, permissionless system that enables people from all over the world, especially the people today that doesn't have any banking system. There's 5-6 billion people in the world who doesn't have a banking system today. They can, with the blockchain and with the cryptocurrency, get a bank in their phone today. And that enables, as Ned said, jobs, but I would like to call it not the traditional kind of jobs that we are thinking about now, like job in a factory, a job in a company. It's more like you're creating an economic income for yourself, so you can be more free to do what you like. For example, writing good articles on a website, or selling your services and get paid in Bitcoin directly or in any other cryptocurrency without any regulations, which enables people, even a poor farmer in Africa can sell his services and sell his vegetables and so on, and get paid directly, totally outside of the current economical financial system, but still he will be involved in a global financial system that is totally permissionless, and I find that the biggest part.
Yeah, I agree with Stefan. I see cryptocurrencies as a way to bring financial freedom to millions of people who do not have financial freedom in the current economic system. So that can, for example, be foreign workers sending money home to their continent and paying 10% in remittance fees, or it could be unemployed writers that can earn thousands of dollars on Steemit, and it's a way to create a truly global economy where everybody can transact with each other without having to deal with traditional gatekeepers like banks or credit card companies or other institutions that create a high threshold to participate. So it's a way to create value for all people in the world.
Thank you for that input. Susanne?
Blockchain, I think, will increase the speed, or reduce the speed, increase the speed, so it takes a shorter time from A to B, whatever one is using the blockchain to, and then the cost, which I think is a major factor to it. You have two variances which has been mentioned here. You have those who are not having any systems at all, meaning for the unbanked and so forth. So then they can use state-of-the-art technology as a start. For those who have been in the financial industry and the banks in particular, they have old legacy system that is very costly. The maintenance is taking part of a lot of the cost. So just to turn around the existing system cost them a lot. And then to come up with the new products and turn around and meet all the challenges that the fintech companies are facing or giving the banks, and these fintech companies are eating of the value chain to the banks. So I think blockchain is a fantastic enabler to reduce the cost and make sure this is going much faster.
So when you are number 6 in the row, it's difficult to say something very smart. So, but I will emphasize what our lawyer says. He pointed on this cost efficiency and getting rid of the middlemen. Getting rid of the middlemen with the blockchain technology I think is the biggest benefit. Even though we see the traditional banks who are married to have a marriage with the regulators, not looking at blockchain as something a chain that they can block the market with. And you know, in a way, this technology opens up the possibility for transactions to happen without them slicing off this poor guy in Africa's money on his way home.
Okay, I'm the 7th one. Even harder, but I agree with Susanne. The two most important thing is speed of payment, and cost. And cost not only because it's free, the payment is free, but also cost for the bank. Santander did a calculation 2 years ago. They said that the banking worldwide will save some $20 billion a year in cost saving if you go to the blockchain in the bank. So cost and speed, that is right. And as you said, Sanna, Nordea is in the move of changing the core banking system, and we have put aside €1 billion for the project. €1 billion. That's a lot of money. And if we can do this half the price or even twice the speed, it will completely change the market. But even though we will do the core banking platform installation, and then we will look at blockchain. Blockchain might completely change the game in the future.
Okay, so there's a large variety of answers here, very interesting from all of you. We all have a slightly different angle watching this. What stands out to me is that there's certainly some of you emphasize the blockchain aspect, while some of you are more into the openness and the globalness of the free permissionless cryptocurrencies. And I guess I think I will take it back to the unbanked, was briefly mentioned here. So these 2 billion people or 3 billion or however many there are in the world who do not have access to banking services, who don't have identity services, for them, what do you think is the most important invention here? Is it the blockchain that will make it faster and save money for banks? Or is it the free and permissionless access? So blockchain versus cryptocurrency for the unbanked. I'm going to just shoot it right at you, Joar.
Permissionless, I am a bit sort of disturbed about that term because I think all societies need some sort of law and order, and then it's more a matter of or more a degree on where do you put the boundaries and the borders for permissionless or law and order. And I think we all know that the poor farmer in Africa is probably more hurt by losing his payment for his monthly vegetable crop than you and me being fraud on a payment transaction on buying something on the internet. So I think what I would argue is that the cryptocurrency and the blockchain disruptive community need rather to take part in the dialogue with the authorities if you don't like to talk to the regulators, but you need some sort of law and order. I think that goes beyond doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually like to jump in there and actually agree to some extent. I think that there are varying degrees of these public blockchains, and some of them are considered permissionless, the most well-known being Bitcoin. But some blockchains, like JR said, rules exist to serve a society and a community. And blockchains can also be built to serve a community. Communities can be targeted and attacked. And a blockchain that responds to community needs and to the consensus of the community is potentially a more valuable blockchain. So I believe we still need to have several more iterations in blockchain so that we see this sort of reactivity from a community in times of need and when there are bad actors. The most successful societies out there are societies that are able to kick out bad actors, right? And if you can't do that, then bad actors can poison, communities. You think about trolling online and things like that. So in my opinion, as things develop, we will start to see communities that aren't necessarily permissionless, but digital communities that have constitutions and know how they want to respond to certain types of negative events.
It's a very, very insightful input there, and I guess that the question then is, the permissionless blockchain, is it unregulated or is it self-regulating? Stefan?
Yeah, it's totally regulated, but it's regulated by a program rule or mathematical rule. So everybody knows exactly the rules, how it's working. The issue with regulations is today every country have their own regulation, and the blockchain is global. So which country's rules should we work at? It's then better that we in the blockchain itself creates the rules that are open and to 100% followed. Everybody has to follow these rules because it's in the smart contract of this cryptocurrency. And as Ned said, you can have communities around this that are working with the blockchain, but they can also make their own rules how they want to implement it. But still, the back layer of blockchain in the back is still like permissionless in this society, but it's all regulated in the blockchain itself.
Yeah. I want to give it the word to you, Lasse. I think you have some valuable input here.
Yeah, well, we are as a bank, we are regulated, and we we are so afraid of doing anything that the regulator can react on. So we will definitely not be involved in anything that is not permissioned only. Permissionless like Bitcoin is completely out of the question. And when it's private network or permission-only network, the regulator can go in and do compliance check by themselves. So for the regulator, they are really keen on going that way.
Just a follow-up question. You say that you will never go into anything which is not regulated only. Does it mean that as a platform where you could regulate parts of it, is that out of the question, where you could have Norwegian regulation in one part of the blockchain and you could have your American regulation in a different part of the blockchain?
Well, maybe. What's important, the basic thing is we need to know who is paying and who is receiving. And if you can do that one way or another, that will be compliant to the regulator. So we need to know the person behind the wallets.
Would you like to make a comment from a legal standpoint here,
sure.
Morten?
I think it's really important. I think regulation is important for the crypto world, and I think maybe both sides have challenges. So the governments, they need to try to understand more what they're trying to regulate, because right now we have a situation where the regulators are trying to use old laws and old ways of understanding on something that is totally new. So law and order is only a good thing if the laws are correct and if the laws are fair.
Yeah.
But also the crypto side, they need to maybe be a bit more interested in talking to the regulators. But I mean, it's a very diverse community. Some are anarchists, some are libertarians, some are, I don't know, all kinds of things. So I think it's a good thing that sides talk to each other.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting point of view, and I think Susanna had some comment here.
Yeah, I think here is exactly where we are talking, because you're bringing in the global aspect, which I absolutely agree on. That there's no way, to be honest, so you can't say that the Norwegian FSA is going to rule or any other is going to rule. So they're going to find a mechanism that is not invented yet with the regulation on it. The regulation sounds very depressive and holding back and so forth, but what EU has done with PSD2 and so forth, this is a God-given gift to entrepreneurs to come in with the innovative things. And I believe that there are quite a few more and more that understand that innovation is the solution to a lot of the problems coming in. So what you are saying, that you need to bridge in the knowledgeable people like yourself and others that know the technology inside as well, with the technology, with the regulation people. And I see in UK they are again in the forefront to work on both those sides, and that's the area, and it has to be global, otherwise it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Interesting that you bring up the UK. We'll get back to that and the sandbox system that they have. Martin, before
I was about to say something similar to what Susanne is saying, because please remember, it's very early days for cryptocurrencies. I mean, it's just a few years that this has been in the market. And this for sure is going to change over the coming years. It's been a rapid development, and we are going to see changes that meet this need for security, for knowledge about the transaction itself. And I feel quite confident that a lot of these problems that has been highlighted so far will find their solutions in the technology on a global scale. Because I think it will be impossible to have the Norwegian government and the Chinese government and the American government and the UK government agreeing on a set of rules that should govern the cryptocurrencies. It won't happen. But I feel confident that 10 years from now, we will all have wallets with digital currency. I'm 100% sure. and it will be regulated, but on a global level.
You had a comment?
No, I mean, I guess I'm playing the not the devil's advocate, but the authorities. But I guess you're all familiar with the global community of authorities and regulators are trying to gather. It's called the Basel Committee, and then that's distributed then to the federal authorities in the US, SEC and others, and then through EU and down through the domestic authorities. So yes, they are trying, and I guess there's also funding issues because if you do ask the FSA in Norway, they will point at the finance ministry who grant their budgets every year. So I guess there's a multiple audience for let's say the cryptocurrency and the blockchain industry to address. And I'm sure that is a kind of a chicken and egg problem, because I guess you are strained on cost efficiency and how you spend your money, and to travel around to these authorities it's a long haul. You would need to invest a lot of time and effort to convince them about the technology that you're promoting. So I think there's cooperation. That's the only way forward.
I totally agree, and I think that that is certainly going to happen, that all the world's countries are going to get together and solve and find out how they're going to regulate it. So, but the issue I see is that technology moves much faster than politicians. Lasse.
Are you pointing at me? Okay. You're right. The technology escalates a lot faster than as we as a bank and a regulator can follow. I just would like to mention that Janet Yellen in Fed, she invited all central banks in the world to Washington, was it 7th of June this year, summer? And they was together for 2 days and discussed blockchain and fintech. That's the only thing on the agenda. So, and I used you and your brother in the. I had a speak at the Stockholm at the Oslo Stock Exchange on Thursday, and I did a live presentation there. And in the area, or the people listening to what we said, was people from the stock exchange, Norwegian Bank, Central Bank of Norway. The regulator was there. So they are really focusing on what we do, even in Norway.
So I guess we are still struggling in Norway to get a grip on Bitcoin, and there's since Bitcoin arrived, we have seen hundreds of new cryptocurrencies and new platforms and new challenges. So how are they going to keep up? And isn't it maybe better to do like the UK has done and just have a hands-off approach, make a sandbox where the technology can play out and see what happens before you try to restrict it? And is it going to hurt if a given country, for example Norway, decides to have a very restrictive policy on cryptocurrencies? Is it going to hurt the cryptocurrency economy, the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, or is it going to hurt the country because all the innovation goes into other countries? Who wants to comment on that?
I can try to start. I'm in a forum with IKT Norge and Finans Norge coming together to discuss fintech area. And we discussed this sandbox that UK FCA is the new name they have. Because they put up a new sandbox where fintech company can come and try out and get advice from the FCA. And IKT Norge took it to the Norwegian government and discussed this. So there are people on this thing. But you are right, we are a little bit slower in Norway than UK and US.
Yeah, okay. I'll hold my tongue for now. We'll get back to that. I'm going to ask a new question, just to get into the challenges a little bit more here. How do you see nation states dealing with the disruption of traditional money and finance? Anybody want to talk about that? Maybe Susanne?
It's a lot happening. Of course, UK has been a hub since 2010 when Cameron, he said, what are we going to do? The economy is down and we need to do something. So he approached entrepreneurs to come on, and we see what has happened. And London is, I think, the hub, fintech hub in the world. Singapore is doing quite a lot, also with sandboxes, and I believe the sandboxes that are in Singapore is even better than in London if you're going to put a competition on the sandboxes. But there's so much going on in each country, I think, on this area, and the banks. 1 year ago, I think even Nordea also got there were quite a lot of people kicking the legs of Nordea, and Nordea, they have done quite a lot. Danske Bank has done quite a lot, and DNB as well. So it's the initiatives that is coming, I would say, from the entrepreneurs, which is challenging the incumbent industry, and then the politicians and the regulation is kind of coming after that. But I believe that both politicians, even here in Norway, and also on the regulation side, they are positive what's happening. So once Norway is getting a hold of it, then they can move much faster, because we are so advanced in technology in general, and we have a society where technology is used in so we are first with more or less everything. So I think also in this aspect, I think Norway, together with the Nordic countries, can be a leader. We need to work together with the other Nordic countries because we are so small as a country. But I talked with Finans Norge, Finanstilsynet, and so forth, and they are eager to and they also work together. So what they're saying, when the Nordic countries stick together, they easily get Benelux and then particularly Holland, and the UK will also follow along in that aspect. So Europe as a whole is in a lead, I think, in general when it comes to fintech. So that is something that we can utilize from here and global.
I'm very happy to hear that Finans Norway and Finanstilsynet are interested in joining the debate. And I really hope that we'll be able, when we host the next CryptoFinance event in a few months, that we will get someone from official government side to comment on this topic. Ned, you had something you wanted to...
Well, I agree that nation states have been more and more positive over the last few years, increasingly so actually, about these new digital money technologies. And some in the cryptocurrency space might not want to agree with me, but some of the reasons that there are sandboxes in a number of countries is because they're recognizing how traceable and how trackable every action is that is on the blockchain. And when you start to think about this blockchain as this transparent ledger of everything with a set of governance and rules, you start to realize that these technologies can actually help the regulators. And I know in the US, institutions like the FBI and the CFTC have all kind of taken a step back and said, let this stuff grow because we can end up using this. And I think that of course, just like it can be valuable in other countries, it can be valuable here in Norway too.
I just add to that. I think, and that's an explicit goal, and within the mandate of the Sandbox FCA is for their own use of new technologies. I think Lars and I just discussed the AML, the anti-money laundering, and the KYC opportunities. And I guess the common denominator for that is RegTech, where you could use this technology really advanced. So I think that's just another opportunity for you entering into a discussion and a common dialogue with the authorities. And as you did, seeing is believing. So if you do sort of a mock-up and show them a sample case on how it could be used, it's again, pictures says more than 1,000 words.
Yeah. Thank you. And I just have to say that this working together with regulators, I mean, we in BitSpace come from the cryptocurrency space. We grew up there. We started using Bitcoin. We explored the sector, all the different platforms, and we ended up here. We are actively trying to get in touch, in dialogue with banks and regulators, because we believe that a good way to go forward here, Bitcoin is growing and traditional finance is there, and there needs to be some kind of communication between these two camps, so to speak, and that's our mission with BitSpace and with our project BitGate, which I'm going to talk a little bit about later.
Just a comment to it.
Yes,
I think it would be wonderful to have Finanstilsynet, also FSA Norway, be part of it. And they love to be invited. Of course, they have their strict masks and so forth. But that's a good way for them to showcase, because they want to. They just need the money from the government to do these things. Mm-hmm. So if you have been on the inside, I think they can me, but they need the money to start. And that, is it in the media? Is it be talked about? Then you can help them to.
Yeah, and maybe even have a representative from the finance ministry together with the FSA.
Exactly. Then you have a full
yeah, let's work towards that for the next event. Lasse, you have something on your mind?
It's just that I think you have to notice that the regulator and the when it comes to bank, we have this PSD2 coming in a few years. It's a new regulation from the European Union, and the only reason is that European Union want more competition in the banking market. So we have to open our computer system to third-party providers. And then after that, we have this BFID 2 coming our way, and it's the same thing. The regulator want more competition in the market, so we need to be aware that they want competition, and that goes for us as well.
Okay, so I guess we touched upon the regulatory challenges globally. I want to bring it a little bit back to Norway, because we are in a very special situation here. Although I heard some of you mention that Norway is far ahead and proactive, and the whole Europe is proactive when it comes to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. That's not exactly true about Norway. We are actually lagging behind quite a lot in the cryptocurrency space. We have a very strange rule here in Norway that stems from 2013. I just tried to ask Finanstilsynet in a mail if a company in Norway can buy and sell Bitcoins. It took 4 months for me to get an answer. I got an answer now in September, and the answer was very vague, with a link to a statement from the tax authorities from 2013 that say that in Norway there is VAT on Bitcoins, which means that if you want to exchange Bitcoins from Norwegian kroner to Bitcoin, you have to pay 25% tax, which means that it's basically impossible to run a business based on cryptocurrencies in Norway. That's the background. Anybody have some comment on this situation? What can be done? Stefan?
Yeah, of course, Norway could just follow the EU example, that not to have VAT on. It's not VAT on Bitcoin, but the problem is that the government have no template where they should put Bitcoin, so they just thought it's an electronic service, and an electronic service has VAT, but Bitcoin is not an electronic service. Bitcoin is many different things. It's a currency, it's assets, and it's a blockchain and everything. So the problem is for the regulators to find a law today that fits this strange thing called Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. So the most important thing is to stay off or make these sandboxes and maybe wait and see and try to implement the laws according to how you are using the technology, not just one big rule for all of it.
Morten, you wanted also to comment on this?
Yeah, this is what I wrote my thesis about, so finally somebody cares. So this is kind of the legal basis for the Norwegian tax department's practice in treating Bitcoin as an electronic service. And it's one page. It's a conclusion without any arguments to substantiate the conclusion. And in Norway, it's strange because we already have the legal framework to treat Bitcoin. And it's merverdiavgiftsloven, the value-added tax law. And if you read and go through all the legal sources that we have in Norway at this moment, then you would come to the natural conclusion that Bitcoin is exempt from sales tax and value-added tax. Either you can classify it as a legal way of making payments, gyldig betalingsmiddel, or you can classify it as a financial service or similar. So the regulators, when they made this law, they had in mind that there might be new financial products that would behave similar to the old products. And they foresaw that these products also should be treated legally in the same way. So, yeah, it's strange that Norway still has this this sale tax on Bitcoin, especially since we now have a verdict from the European Court of Justice. It's 1 year old today, or in a week or something. And when I read it, I thought, okay, finally, the tax department in Norway is going to follow along. But they still haven't. And they're not really legally obliged to do so. But all of there's every reason for them to do exactly as the European Union does. And this is written in all the pre-works for these laws. So, yeah, I think that when the tax department actually sits down and does some real legal work, they will come to the conclusion that we've come to.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment on that?
His thesis needs to be public and put it on in the media.
It is.
and spread it.
Okay. Is it available in PDF?
Yeah.
Can we put it up on our website later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will do so on
It's a bit outdated, so I need to make a
No.
new 2016 version.
That's the VAT. Another story happened this autumn. Stefan, you want to elaborate? Tell us about it.
Yeah, we run into a wall. We started the Bitcoin Association, and of course we needed a bank account so that our members could pay their member fee. So we opened an account with the biggest bank in Norway, and everything was fine in 3 weeks. And then suddenly I got a phone call from the bank saying that the Norway Bitcoin Association, are you doing something with Bitcoins? Yes, we are. We are trying to inform people about Bitcoins and cryptocurrency and so on. And then he asked me directly, are you selling and buying Bitcoins? I said, no, we are not. And then he went, while I was in the phone with him, he went into our website and checked that, okay, a member can pay with credit card or with Bitcoins. It's a service we buy both for the credit card and for the Bitcoins, called Stripe. It's one of the biggest credit cards suppliers in the world. So I told him, no, we are not selling. We are just letting our members pay with Bitcoins. And that resulted in that they froze our account with all our money we had very much money, like 832 kronos. and and we got a paper from them, a whole page with questions. Please answer this, written. What kind of regulations do you have to control the identity of your members? What kind of rules and controls do you have to certify that the money flows that comes into the organization does not come from illegal and terrorist financing stuff? So, okay, we got a whole list. So, of course, I sat down and I tried to answer this and how we are handling these kind of questions. And in the end, I found out that the bank that we had a bank account in couldn't actually be a member of our, or couldn't be a service to our association, because they themselves was guilty of money laundering. So I had to tell them back that, sorry, now we have implemented the rules that you requested from us, but you cannot be our bank anymore because you are yourself laundering money. And we closed the account, and now we have an account with another bank that does allow Bitcoin to be.
Days?
Sorry?
How many days you have no new account?
I got it in like...
I joke about 3 days.
Yeah. We got account very quickly with the other bank, no problem. So we have a bank account and we accept Bitcoins.
Great.
So I can just imagine, now we are just an association, we are not non-profit organization, but now if you are a startup, if you are a company, and you try to do a product in this space, you are totally blocked.
Yeah.
From week 3, when you open your account and then they see something with Bitcoin and say, oh.
Yeah, and I just have another story that I want to tell, because now you got into that entrepreneurial aspect of it. There was, in 2013, 2014, there was a really great Bitcoin company based in Norway. It was called JustCoin. They were one of the leading cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. They were very professional, very fast, very good service. They always paid out the money in time. They were trusted by their users. What happened was they got a letter from their bank. They have to close down. That actually happened in Norway. What happened was that all the users got their money back. They moved out of the country, and they are now making businesses. They are being entrepreneurs in somewhere else, not here in Norway. So that, to me, that tells me that that's a real warning sign. It should be a big warning sign for Norway. Do we want to push our entrepreneurs out of the country? One example that is often used when talking about being too conservative to new technology is the Red Flag Act in the United Kingdom. The automobile was a really great piece of technology when it first came out in the beginning of the century. In the UK, the carriage manufacturer for horses were really against this new technology. It was very disturbing. A lot of people could lose their jobs. It was dangerous. So what they did was that they made a law requiring that every automobile had to be equipped with an engineer in case of engine failure, and there had to be a man walking in front of the car with a red flag. This is true. With a red flag waving, like warning people that a car is coming. So what happened? UK fell behind. The automobile industry flourished in the US. Is that what we want to happen to Norway? Do we want fintech to happen everywhere else but here? Is that what we want? When we push out our innovators like that, smart, young, bright people, I think that's a really dangerous development. Martin.
I just wanted to make a small comment to what you said, because I did the criminal act of taking an Uber out to this event today, and that's also a symbol of the regulators' resistance to new things coming up, and I think the only way is through the way that people are saying, hey, it's by educating the regulators, bringing them on board, and trying to explain and do it in a way so that we can make these necessary steps forward. But I will also mention one very good example of a regulator who has taken the point, and that is the Estonian government. I myself, I'm an Estonian. If I established a Bitcoin company, I would do it in Estonia. I can do it in minutes. I can establish the necessary agreements and contracts. I can pay my tax. I can give the regulators everything they need. So maybe a training course for someone at a regulator in Norway, in Estonia, would be a good idea.
Absolutely.
It's really cool that you mentioned it, and I would like to just, if you could flip the camera around here, I would just like to say that my wife is probably really happy now that we're having this talk about Estonia, because she's from Estonia, and she's been telling me, why don't you just start up the company in Estonia? Why do you have to do it in Norway? But this is not just about making BitSpace. It's not just about what we do. We actually want to make this happen in Norway. We want to make Norway great again. Is that? Okay, so we have 5 minutes left. We're gonna spend that on a last question to all the panelists. 5 years from now, and this time we'll begin. Sorry?
You should ask the questions about Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Oh yeah. That's also yeah, good. So the question is, first of all, do you have a Bitcoin wallet? Just answer that first, and then 5 years from now, what role do you think blockchain and cryptocurrencies will have in our society? This time we'll start with Lasse and we'll go towards.
I have a Bitcoin wallet. I got it this summer, and I have a few Bitcoins there. And I think the 5 years from now, there will be at least 10, 15 countries which has a cryptocurrency. I think UK might be the first one. There was one country in Africa launched a cryptocurrency. Was it? Well, sorry? Kenya. No, Kenya has this M-Pesa. That's another thing. No, I think it's there was one of the African countries. They had a cryptocurrency, and but I'm quite sure UK will be one of the first. And when the first country has a cryptocurrency, the other one will come within a few years. The question is how it will evolve. How can the central bank, because it will be central bank issued cryptocurrency, I'm quite sure that's the only way forward. Maybe, yeah, basically. So I think the future is cryptocurrency.
I think I stated my opinion earlier. I do believe in digital currencies, and I do believe that it will not be controlled by one regulator, one by one. I think it will be, my belief is that there will be a global control mechanism that will satisfy most regulators, but there will always be regulators who are asking for more. But I think there will be a system around this. I also believe that maybe the UK, maybe there will be others. Will it be Bitcoin or will it be something else? I don't know. Bitcoin is in the lead today, but time will show.
I would love to sign up for a Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency, so somebody help me
Let's
with
talk
that.
afterwards.
Exactly.
And I have a Bitcoin wallet, and I haven't paid VAT.
He's living in Sweden.
I believe it's gonna evolve, and UK might be one of the first, maybe Estonia, as a maybe quicker country to adapt and take a lead on that one. Once we have at least one country or a few, then it will start moving. It's like Sæbeflokk-mentaliteten will kick in. So that 5 years, a little bit uncertain how much has been done. Maybe some pilots and so forth, because we need to educate the market, like Martin was saying here, and we need to have the kind of the global regulators with us. So maybe a little bit more time, but it will come.
Yeah, I have a Bitcoin wallet, I have an Ethereum wallet, and a Steam wallet. In 5 years, I think both private blockchains for central banks, or maybe even countries will have evolved, and distributed blockchains or public blockchains like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and of course Steam will have grown a lot with much more users. You can just see Ned talking about Steam. It's just started and there's 100,000 users, and that's people who before had no knowledge about cryptocurrencies whatsoever, and now they're actually seeing the potential for this technology to change their lives. So there's going to be a snowball effect, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I have a Bitcoin wallet. I have also Ethereum, Steam it, and all of them, tested all of them. I have a wallet in my phone, in my PC. I have a hardware wallet. I have most of my savings, instead of in the bank, I have it in a stuff and hardware wallet like this. In 5 years, I believe that a lot of banks will have a lot of trouble, just like the postal offices in other countries have a lot of problem because of internet, like 10-15 years ago. The banks that are most innovative will survive, and just like Estonia, the reason for Estonia, I believe, was that they came loose from Russia, and they had to start all over with everything. So that's why they quickly could do something modern. The problem we have is that we have all these old regulations that is very, very hard to change. But we have to change. It's imperative. If we don't change, we will die. And it's in 5 years, I think I believe that we have at least the Bitcoin blockchain, but above that we will have a lot of different layers that the banks can use and that the companies can use, and where we can regulate locally in different countries. But below or in the back end, it will be the global blockchain.
Interesting. It's funny you should bring up this hardware wallet, because one of the teams this weekend actually their project was to hack that Trezor and make it work for Steam. So and they actually made a proof of concept. I don't know if they're here they had to leave because they have an early plane tomorrow, but that's just a comment on that.
Yeah. And also, it's not only storing my bitcoins, it's also can prove my identity in a very, very, very secure way, globally. If I put this into my computer, I can prove that I am the one, because I have to type in a passcode and a hardware wallet, and then I'm 100% identified.
Do you have it under your pillow?
I don't tell you where I have it. In a safe place.
Yeah, thank you. And you are, please.
Yeah, well, in 5 years' time, I think definitely the blockchain will have a predominant position and role. I think that the payment mechanism will always continue to be a very critical part of society. I therefore think it still needs to be some kind of control mechanism or regulated. And I think the Nordic countries has still a very advanced position in terms of technologically developments. The private-public cooperation, we have relatively advanced technology for, let's say, official registers, whether that is concerning your personal identity or concerning your property and commodities. So I think we still has a very good position if we can get the industry, the public, the private sector to work better together. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a Bitcoin wallet,
We'll do
but I have some
about
other
that today.
yeah.
Yes. But you wanted to
some other cool fintech products.
Nice.
So, yeah.
We'll exchange ideas later. Ned, please, you'll get the last word here.
Sure.
From the panel.
Do you have a Steam wallet?
I have a Steam wallet.
Only Steam, no other currencies.
I have a Bitcoin wallet too, and an Ethereum wallet, and I think 5 years in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space is practically an eternity.
Yeah.
We have seen so much innovation in just the last 2 years. And things are only beginning to move faster. And I do believe that protocols like Bitcoin will continue to become more and more popular and serve their purpose as a great store and transfer of value. But I also believe that in these next 5 years, we will discover new applications for these technologies that some of us have not even begun to think about yet. And these will be the technologies that actually become pervasive and most influencing across the world. And there'll be things that people may not even realize, they may not even realize that they're powered by cryptocurrency technologies. And that's when we'll know that we've discovered the true potential of these things, is that people are using the technology and it's improving their lives, and they don't need to think about all the regulations and the technical challenges and all this. So in 5 months, I see Bitcoin going to the moon. In 5 years, I see a completely new landscape.
Thank you. On that note, we conclude the panel debate. I want to give a big thanks to everyone here in the panel who took their time to come here and talk to us. It's been a very interesting and productive debate. The last agenda, the last thing on the agenda is presenting projects from the hackathon. I don't know if all the participants are here now. There will be two presentations of projects. After they finish, we will walk in a big group across the street. Whoever wants to come with us to a hotel across the street. What was the name of the hotel?
Quality Expo.
Quality Expo, where we'll, yes, so whoever wants to join us there for a drink can do that after we finish. But for now, thank you very much to the panelists, and I hope to see you back here next CryptoFinance event.